Welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is going to be one of my Cats Hit the Deck reviews, and I'm reviewing one of the decks that I use, which is an Uno deck. Regular standard Uno deck. This one's from around circa 1987, so the instructions and the box are long gone, but the deck is actually still complete because I organized it last night in order to do this video. So the way that I do it is it's like a Minor Arcana deck, basically, right? Yellow I use as wands, red I use as cups. Try to focus that a little better. And the blue ones I'm using as swords. And the green ones I'm using as pentacles. These are probably the easiest to use. So I knew when I sorted these out, I was pretty sure that each, since it's like a pretty double tall deck, I think there's 108 cards. So there's two sets of all of these numbers, except for 0. There's only 1 0 in each deck. You can see how I'm using these. Right, these are pentacles, right? So Ace of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, and then I use a 0 as 10, and there's only 1 0 in each set. And it's not missing. I think that's just how the deck is designed. This one's got some crust on it from like 20 years ago. Whatever. So there's only a single 10, but there's 2 aces and 2 1 through 9. And then I use the draw 2s as pages. So Page of Pentacles. And I'm using the wilds as knights. And what I had been doing is I would draw a wild card and then I would have to get another card to figure out what suit the knight went with. But when I shuffled these out and spread them out, there were 4 of these and 4 of these. So I put 1 of each in each stack, and I just drew a little pentacle on there. So now when I get these, I don't have to draw a second card. But I was like, well, I kind of like doing that. So what I've decided is that if I get this card, then I'll take another card to give it some more. Like, I'll go back and get another card out of the deck. And if I get this one, then there isn't any other information, right? Like, this knight is specifically carrying a hidden message. This knight, not so much. So that's what I've decided as of last night. But I had been using these as knights to begin with. And then I just got in there with the Sharpie last night. So I've got Page of Pentacles, Knights of Pentacles. And I'm using the skips as queens because they're curvy. And then the R's, the reverses, are kings for me. And it makes sense because roi in French, R-O-I, is king. So that's how it does. So each set, right, ace, and then the 2 through 9, as you would have in a regular tarot deck. These are swords, again, for me. 10 of swords. Page of swords. Having a hard time holding on to those. Knight of swords. And the queen, and then the king. When using this deck, it does... I often only use it, you know, for part of a reading. But if I was only using this for a reading, we could use it with one of those, you could easily combine it with a deck that's only Major Arcana. I know there's a couple of them. I don't remember what they're called because I don't have them. I don't know if, is it the Cosmic Tarot that's only got Major? I know there's a few, but I don't know which one it is. And I also could work with an Oracle deck too, to try to get more Major Arcana energies if one wanted to. So cups, same idea, ace, And these cards, even though they're just numbers, I would, you know, remember what's on the other decks, right? So 9 and then 10, page, knights, queen, and king of cups. And the same with the wands. Wands. I think it's kind of interesting that it ended up that there's only 1 0 in each pile, and I didn't know that when I started using this a couple years ago to do tarot with, because this deck has been used so much and so old. I'm like, you know, I don't have anybody to play Uno with right now anyway. Page, knight, queen, and king. In theory, I could just take this deck, even though I've scribbled on the wild cards, and use it to play Uno with. Which Uno is basically just a fancy card game version of Crazy Eights, which is used with a regular card deck, which you can use as tarot anyway. So, I don't know if all card games would lend themselves to tarot. I've never played Rook. I've seen it in the store, though. I should get a Rook deck and see how that works. Not all card games are suitable for using with tarot, but this is how I use the Uno deck. It's kind of short and sweet. There's not a lot going on there, so that's it. It's pretty simple. It's just basically deciding which color is which suit, and I mean, right? Hearts, red, cups, wands, yellow, because that's the only other fire color, and then blue is often swords, then green is often pentacles anyway. It's pretty easy to remember. And you can see from the edges that they're quite old. I like this better than newer Uno decks that try to be fancier. I think their cards might also be bigger. These ones are like bridge sized, I guess. They're a little bit smaller than a poker deck. And they're quite worn. There's like scum on them. Some of them are bent. They're well worn in, so they shuffle quite well. I'm always afraid of, you could see where there was one that was bent in there. I'm always afraid of breaking them, but it's not too, I mean, considering this thing is like pushing 35 years old, it's amazing that it's still complete. So, and basically you can use any card, any, you know, regular playing cards as a tarot deck. It makes me wish I had kept the Barbie playing cards that I had, because that would be fun for a deck too. But I mean, as it is, I have historical fashion cards, so it's not that big a deal. So, there we go. So if you want to have some bright colors and get away from the same old for a tarot deck, just go ahead and do that. And if you can't remember, like if I don't use this for a long time, sometimes I forget that the draw twos are pages and that the zeros are actually tens. You can always just write it on the card so you don't forget, right? Just put like a P on there, or page, or whatever, or just put little, like I did with the knights, just draw a little symbol on there so you can remember. And it's not gonna, I mean, it doesn't affect it as an Uno deck, if you still want to use it for that. But I wouldn't recommend letting other people play with your tarot decks after you start using them for tarot. That's it. This is basically the shortest review because there's no individual image. It's just kind of like a flash of color. It kind of puts more emphasis on the number itself than on any imagery, and it sort of calls in to get you to think more about it. It sort of calls you to connect more to your intuition than to just kind of saying what's on the card itself, right? So, I mean, because this says draw two and it's a page, this might like the letter D or the number 2 or the word draw, or this letter D might, you know, it might look like a boat, it might look like a hut. Especially if it lands in the challenge position, it might give you some other insight as to what's going on there, right? This might look like a maze if you're getting a queen. Might be twisted or confused. And again, when I decided with these wild cards for the knights that I was going to pull an extra card. So if you get something like this, and you're like, oh, maybe I need another card. So you could always do that. Sort of whatever you want to. I'm just showing people how I use them, right? Royalty, the king, rigid, respectability. And again, I mean, because these are smaller, even though the deck is thicker, they're a little bit easier to handle. If it was this like the same size as a Hay House deck and still 108 cards thick, that gets a little bit tough to to deal with. I think, are these Parker Brothers maybe? I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. It's been such a long time since I've had the box. So anyway, that's it. And you can check out the other deck reviews in this playlist. So I'm going to move the camera. If you want to get a personal tarot reading, I have a list of the readings that I offer down in the description box underneath this video. I have all these contact points here. I think that's... Usually when I try to focus it better, I just make it worse. Yeah, it's just getting worse. Okay, where's my thing? My cup is on the wrong side of the desk. So if you'd like to get a reading, you can email me. That's through the link tree. thecatcameback@camp@gmail.com, and that really could be better. There we go. Battery's going to go in a minute anyway. I've got coloring books, dark poetry, merch prints, actual art items. This is kind of how my art's going to look if you see some of it. There's some more plain stuff, portraits, fashion, animals. And here we go with the fireworks because it was raining last night. All right. If you'd like to donate, it's PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. All of these points of contact, social media, and so on are through the link tree. linktr.ee/catdominion. There's a coupon code on Etsy. If you get 3 or more items, you'll get 17% off. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.